All right. We're finishing up the 13 Creeps of Christmas. My wife doing dishes in the background. Chapter 22. Chapter 22. Dweem! Baron yelled as he and Grindex coasted on red and green jet boot flames over... Make sure you can't hear the dishes. Chapter 22. Chapter 22. Dweem! Baron yelled as he and Grindex coasted on red and green jet boot flames over... Should be fine. Alright, off to our standard strong start. Chapter 22. Dweem! Baron yelled as he and Grindex coasted on red and green jet boot flames over to the ice/Eiffel Tower. Pops! Dweem returned, yelled as he saw his dad flying overhead. It's me, your dad. Do you remember? Yeah, it's only been like 2 hours. Hey, time flies when you're having fun. Wait, what? Nothing. What's up, dude? You still wanting to go? You still waiting to go home?
Yeah, you told me to, and then you and Grindax left me here.
Uncle G, Grindax corrected. Well, forget all that, Baron said. Now I'm 100% Pete and Pete. Now I'm 100% Pete and Pete. Let's bust into the ice tower and make our wishes.
Really?
Dweem shouted excitedly. He hopped up and down, causing his entire body to ripple. He had cried so much that his airbrushed shirt looked like a melty Salvador Dali painting. Yeah, Mang. I'll get my pump back, and you can get your wish about your mom going back to school or whatever.
It was for you and her to be friends again.
Oh, yeah. Alright, let's still boogie. Baron was so repumped that he lifted Dweem in a fatherly embrace, and the trio jet booted to the ice tower, which luckily was only like 5 feet behind them. They tried the entrance, but an elf with a pinched, bitchy little face raised a finger and said, "Obviously we're closed. Come back tomorrow, if you can afford it." Baron channeled his pump and wailed a doom metal cover of O Tannenbaum, which caused Grindax's strings to morph into thorny ice vines that reached out and skinned the elf, clothes and all. His red, sinewy remains shrieked and convulsed, leaving behind a crimson ink blot on the concrete. Dweem immediately projectile vomited, and his unfortunate aim coated the elf's exposed flesh and muscle in acidic bile. The elf's howls turned animalistic as he experienced an altogether alien dimension of suffering. "Whoa!" Grindax laughed. "I think someone got his pump back." "Just a taste, friendo," Baron said with wild eyes as he pulled the elf's skin over his own. "We gotta find Santa to really make it stick." He tugged on the skin until it fit snugly over his own. "But now we can enter unnoticed, see? They'll think I'm one of them." Grindax stared at Baron, who had pulled the skin so tautly over his own that it was translucent. He could see some of the elf's purple veins, sallow fat, and bloody flesh still attached. His spider stomach did a somersault. "Let's, maybe still sneak in," he recommended. "You know, for fun." Baron busted around the entire ice tower, trying to find a way in. But all the doors were locked tight and protected by unneutered reindeer security guards, and the windows were barred up with candy canes that were left in a grandma's purse so long they'd become rock hard, but also somehow gummy if you chewed them. The only unbarred windows and unsecured doors were at least 25 feet up the ice tower. Baron tried to jet boot up to them, but he didn't have enough pump to get more than about 13 feet. It was high enough to dunk, but not high enough to get to Santa. And if he were holding Dweem, he'd be lucky to do a layup. Fuck it. Right as Baron and his pump began their final descent, he noticed an inner tube drift lazily past one of the ledges of an open ice tower window. He followed the tube with his eyes and saw it terminate inside a large mountain with mustache-shaped foliage. Surrounding it were a number of other water slides and tube coasters. "Of course!" Baron yelled. "Loose Band-Aids!" "Huh?" Grindax responded. "Loose Band-Aids! It's all so clear now!" "I think that elf skin is on too tight, man." "No, listen. Every theme park has a water park that no one visits unless they're wearing loose Band-Aids, right? So it's no wonder it's the one place we missed. If we can get to that ride, even with Dweem's fatness, we should be able to jump from that tube into the ice tower." "Baron, that's brilliant. But I still think you should take off that skin. It's starting to drip on me. And stink." "No way, we might need it." Baron descended and reattached the leash to his son, who was still involuntarily, albeit violently, vomiting onto the elf's motionless corpse. With a pump tug, the trio set off in the direction of the water park. Yeesh, what's with this place?" Baron asked in front of a vinyl sign that featured a polar bear holding a surfboard and wearing swim trunks. Coming from its mouth, a speech bubble read, "Snowboards up! Welcome to Christmas Kingdom Coast!" "You know what's up with this place," Grindax muttered angrily. "Snowboards up?" Dweem puzzled.
Is that a Home Alone reference? Like crowbars up?
Think it's a bad pun on surf's up, Baron conjectured. But the bear is holding a surfboard, so I guess we're supposed to believe he's using a surfboard on snow? When snowboards are a real thing and he's even saying snowboards up? It's fucking confusing. But the real issue is the K's. I'm telling you, Grindex said. This fucking place is double R-worded. Racist and R-worded. Agreed, Baron nodded. So let's make it worth it. The trio busted into the abandoned water park, navigating the minefield of used Band-Aids, empty nacho containers, and full diapers until they reached a mountain with mustache-shaped foliage. Unfortunately, like the ice tower, it was also barred shut. Motherfuck stick! Baron shouted angrily. We just saw this ride running, and it's our only shot. There has to be a way in. Oh, there is, young buck. A tired voice called from a shadowy family drawing machine located next... A tired voice called from a shadowy family drawing machine located next to the exit. A spidery nutcracker spilled out onto the wet sidewalk. He rose and stepped into the light of the moon. The dark green paint of his military uniform was worn, revealing spots of wood rot below. His teeth were chipped, his eyes sad, and his hair and goatee were dry and sun-bleached. In his right hand he held a large brass key that had turned green with oxidation. He extended his left hand to shake, but quickly withdrew it to cover his face as he experienced a coughing fit. When it subsided, he lowered his hand and sighed. Excuse me. This chlorine, it gives me the vapors. Baron stepped in front of Dweem and wielded Grindex. He knew he had enough pump left to take out the nutcracker if necessary, and it was looking necessary really fucking quick. He only held back since the monster said something about getting into the water ride. How? Baron demanded while hovering his hand over a power cord. How do we get in? How do you get in? To escape, the nutcracker wheezed. Oh, fart. Do we have to answer... Oh, fart. Do we have to answer 3 riddles to get in? No, young buck. You didn't let me finish. You see, the ride is simply called Escape from Sideburn Mountain. I tried to get them to name it Escape from Mustache Mountain, with the O in mustache. Not for any geopolitical reason. I just appreciated how both words start with the same 3 letters. I'm an admirer of verbal aesthetics, kerning and all that. What the fuck? But the nationalistic bastards refused. They said if I didn't accept it without the O, they would stick a few K's in there. So, I capitulated. It was supposed to be my ride, my legacy.
Wow, you built this?
Dweem exclaimed. I did, my buoyant boy, the nutcracker said. He tried to close his mouth to smile, but it just caused more paint and rotten wood to chip off. His eyes became sadder. I am, or was, the greatest water slide designer this park has ever known. Dr. Sticky Hands Teal'Ziyori. He extended his left hand again, but after the coughing fit and hearing that his first name was Sticky Hands, even Dweem wasn't dumb enough to shake it. He withdrew it and continued. I designed and built this entire ride by hand, down to the last mustache plant. But without the O, it is not perfect, and I thereby renounce it.
But is it still a good ride? Just because it's not exactly how you wanted it to be in your head doesn't mean you have to turn your back on it.
Baron bristled. I'm afraid it does, lad, the nutcracker responded mournfully. Tell me, would you go on this ride if I told you that somewhere on it, I'm not sure where, but somewhere, a single screw had fallen from the track?
No way. Too scary.
Indeed it is. For even on a primordial level, we understand that a single imperfection as tiny as a screw, be it in a ride, or a name, or a man, can bring it all crashing down. Dweem swallowed hard. Yo, nutcracker monster, we're kind of in a rush, Baron said while pulling on the bars across the entrance gate. So how do we get in? Is there a secret tunnel you built beneath? Oops. So how do we get in? Is there a secret tunnel you built beneath it but didn't draw on the blueprints, or a hidden door that only opens if we assemble a silver monkey, or what? Dr. Teal'c laughed, which caused him to go into a coughing fit. Oops. Dr. Teal'c laughed, which caused him to go into another coughing fit. No, my overthinking friendo, he rasped. You simply use the key. He shambled over to the gate and lowered his right hand. The key fit perfectly between the bars. As he raised his hand back up, the bars rose with it. They hit the ceiling with a clank, followed by the sound of wet wood splintering and a subsequent thwack. Baron, Dweem, and Grindax looked at the ground to find Dr. Teal'c's severed arm in a puddle of reddish-brown water. His sticky hand still held the key tightly. In slow unison, the trio directed their gaze to the Nutcracker's face, which looked as utterly hopeless as a kid whose entire fish collection was killed due to an aquarium air pump malfunction. The gate is falling, the Nutcracker's mouth clacked solemnly. Baron rushed with Grindax past the Nutcracker and yelled, Thanks, homie! Get well soon! Dweem stood frozen in place. Do you understand why we all fear that one loose screw, child? Dr. Teal'c asked quietly. It's because we all have it. He coughed and a splinter of wood fell from his mouth. Now, you run along. I won't leave you here, Dweem stammered. Maybe we can find some glue or... Get over here! Baron yelled from inside the gate. He yanked Dweem's leash, pulling him inside as the bars dropped onto Dr. Teal'c's severed arm. Rotten wood exploded in a shower of wet shards, and the key twisted into a brass pretzel. Ha! Scorpion Ref? Grindax laughed. You know it! Baron laughed back. Dweem, did you get it? Dweem slowly turned from the crumbling Nutcracker. He wanted to scream at his dad and hit him and tell him how much he hated him. But Dr. Teal'c's words echoed in his head, and he said nothing. You don't get it. But I know your mom doesn't let you play Mortal Kombat, so I don't blame you. I blame her. Now let's motherfucking tube! I know we're only really doing it to reach the ice tower, but I'm legit pumped for this ride. I mean, oh my fuckness! Tubing at night in an abandoned spooky Christmas theme park? Forget it! Dude, are you fucking pumped? Are you fucking scared / pumped? Are you fucking pumped and primed? AKA Pete and Pete? Height. Thank you. For that boy, Dr. Teal'c, rip. All right. Chapter 23. After a daring but otherwise uneventful leap from the inner tube to the ledge of an unbarred window, the trio finally found themselves within reach of the ice tower and Santa. Baron peeked in through the window. Looks like some type of workshop, he said. A bunch of elves are painting wooden airplanes and trains and other stuff no one has played with since the 1950s. All right, Grindax replied. So what's the plan?
Hang out here until they all go on a lunch break or something and then sneak in?
Nah, man. You forget that I still have all my cool... Oops. Nah, man. You forgot that I still have on my cool costume. We can blend right in.
I definitely did not forget that you're still covered in bloody elf skin.
Trust me. Grindex and Dweem both let out nervous, deflating balloon noises. Grindex and Dweem both let out nervous, deflating balloon noises as Baron slid the window open and flung a... Grindex and Dweem both let out nervous, deflating balloon noises as Baron slid the window open and flung a leg over the threshold. The elves stopped... This is killing me. I'm starting to edit everything now, and I just know what a fucking pain this is going to be. The elves stopped painting and looked over right before Leatherface Baron leaned in... The elves stopped painting and looked over right before Leatherface Baron leaned his two faces in and yelled, "Good King Syrup, comrades!" They all shrieked in tandem horror. No, I'm you! Baron yelled. He tried pulling himself in the rest of the way, but his bloody hand slipped on the ledge, so he and Grindex fell into the room and crashed through a table. The elves shrieked louder and began throwing their paintbrushes and toys at him. A wooden truck hit Baron's heel and activated a jet boot, causing him to become A wooden truck hit Baron's heel and activated a jet boot, causing him to become a blood-soaked fire wheel that propelled itself about the room, torching every elf in its path and melting the icy walls and floors. "Fart kebabs over hell's fire!" Baron shouted. "Dude, my boot is F-bombed! Stop us!" Grindex loosened his razor wire strings and tried to catch on to something, but this instead morphed the duo into a flaming helicopter blade. Any elf that survived the flames was instantly disemboweled/decapitated. Finally, Grindex snagged a workbench and the tornado of death subsided. Baron stood up and Baron stood up and exhaled. I think I'll take off my costume now," he said. "Good fucking plan," Grindex coughed. Dweem continued sitting on the ledge, soaked in his own urine and tears. Oh yeah. All right. Here we go. Chapter 24. After promises of chocolates and Tamagotchis, Baron managed to get his son to come in from the window into the work/massacre room. The trio blood skated to the door and peeked their heads out. The interior of the ice tower was like an atrium-style, self-contained city. On every floor, elves hurried in and out of stores, restaurants, luxury apartments, barbershops, post offices, normal/boring offices, and for some reason a bunch of frozen yogurt shops. White and colored Christmas lights shone in every window, and a pine tree the size of a redwood rose from the ground floor to the top of the highest ceiling spire. Throughout the tree, ornaments served as hidden speakers, piping smooth jazz Christmas carols at perfect volume on every floor. "Wow!" Dweem gasped as his eyes sparkled with festive merriment. "Can you imagine the fucking electricity bill here?" Baron said, instantly breaking the spell and spirit. "And you know that tree eats lights," Grindex added. "Oof, I don't even want to think about it. Just look at all these shops. Think of the errands you'd have to run. This place is like dad hell. Anyway, let's go, Chubby Chubby Boom Boom." Baron attached Dweem's leash and gave it a tug. "No!" Dweem snapped as he tugged the leash back. Baron spun around. Excuse you?" Dweem undid the leash. "I'm not being dragged around or kicked around anymore. I also hate when people say excuse you." He charged at his dad while screeching and swinging his arms like a windmill. "Dude, chill," Baron pleaded. "You're gonna draw attention to us." But Dweem didn't chill. He came at his dad like a pancake-fueled freight train. Baron easily stepped out of the way, and Dweem crashed directly into the hooves of a ripped reindeer security guard. He suddenly found himself on his back, looking up at the Christmas tree. There were star ornaments that weren't there before. They glowed brighter and brighter until his entire field of vision was overtaken by blinding light. "Dweem, wake up, buddy," a gentle voice echoed from somewhere far away. The light retreated and Dweem blinked to see his dad smiling above him. "Dad?" Dweem sputtered. "It's me, pal. Don't worry, you've just been having a bad dream. But it's Christmas morning. Your mom has cinnamon rolls in the oven, and Santa's been here." "Oh, wow," Dweem said as he rubbed his eyes. "Man, I was having the worst nightmare." "Was I there?" "Yeah, you were there and Uncle Grindex?" "Yeah." Dweem stopped rubbing his eyes. "And you tried to attack us, even though all we tried to do was take you on a cool adventure and get your wish granted and be nice to you?" Dweem opened his eyes fully. His dad was there and he had been asleep, but he definitely wasn't home and it definitely wasn't Christmas morning. He was in a small, cold jail cell. The walls and bars were made of cobalt blue, fully unmeltable hyper ice. The walls and bars were made of cobalt blue. The walls and bars were made of a cobalt blue, fully unmeltable hyper ice. In the far corner of the room sat a toilet filled with a mush mountain of dump. "Sorry about the smell," Baron said, "but now you apologize for trying to hurt your precious father who loves you so dearly. And for getting us beaten up and thrown into jail by reindeer security guards," Grindex added from Baron's back. "I'm sorry," Dweem said contritely. "I don't know why you gotta be a papa hater," Baron said with his nose in the air. "You have some kind of psychological issues about dads." "Dad,
"Inquisition time, babies!"
a reindeer guard called while throwing open the cell door. "Cuff 'em up!" His hooves struggled to put ice handcuffs on Baron and Dweem and string cuffs on Grindex, but once he got them on, the reindeer led the dudes into an interrogation room that was bare, except for a table, a chair, and a wall-length mirror. The guard bailed, slamming the door behind him, and immediately began comparing arm vascularity with another reindeer security guard in the hallway. Well, this is it," Baron sighed. "We'll definitely be tortured and killed. I was fine with the latter part, but not the former. Worst of all, we won't even get to meet Santa."
Or Big T Frost," Grindex sighed. Look, Pops, Dweem said as he shuffled over to where his dad stood. I'm sorry I got us caught, and I'm sorry you don't get to see Santa and get your wish. But if we're about to die, I'm pumped that it's together. Today was an awesome day when you consider that we'd otherwise be pushing carts and sucking shit at Blur Spy. You gave me a great Christmas. To me, the real Santa was you all along.
Whoa. Say that again, Baron said while narrowing his eyes at his reflection in the mirror.
The real Santa was you all along?
Baron's eyes glimmered. It's a pretty big pump up. He dropped his shoulder and rushed at the reflective ice, exploding it into 1225 brilliant shards. He dropped his shoulder and rushed at the reflective ice, exploding it into 1,225 brilliant shards. He emerged into a room that was so warm it immediately melted his and Grindax's ice cuffs. Directly in front of him, toiling away at a desk, sat a very fat dude in a very red suit. Baron silently motioned for his son to follow. Dweem came in and his cuffs also melted, but when they melted they dripped onto his pants just high enough so it looked like he pissed himself but also had a tiny dick. Yo, Santa? Baron asked cautiously as he entered the inner sanctum.
Big guy?
Dweem called from behind him. The back of the red suit spun around in a $400 office/gaming chair with built-in speakers to reveal a snow-white beard, rosy red cheeks, and eyes the color of Holiday Blast peppermint mouthwash.
Ho, 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 he yelled jollily. Big guy, I like that. What's your name, child?
Dweem.
As in Dweem Big and Be Big?
Hey, yeah!
Syrup, big guy, Grindex said to suck up. I'm Uncle G.
Uncle G! I love it as well, Santa guffawed. His belly shook like a bowl of non-cliché preserves. He looked to Baron and asked, And what is your name, young man?
Baron,
Baron said sharply. But that's exactly my problem. I'm not a young man anymore. So my one true Christmas wish is...
Santa, my one true Christmas wish is...
Dweem interrupted. No, there's plenty of time for that, Santa said while holding up a white-gloved hand. First, we have to take our picture. After all, you want something nice to send your mom back in Monsteropolis, don't you, big guy? He turned to Dweem and winked. Oops. Oh my fuck. The trio gasped at the same time. This dude was definitely the real deal. Dweem tried to scamper so quickly towards Santa that he did the thing dogs/cats do when they run in place and just sort of scratch up the hardwood floors before actually getting traction and moving. But Santa didn't stress about it because he appreciated the fat's holiday pump.
Ho, ho, ho!
He gulped as all of Dweem's bulk came catapulting onto his lap. Elf babes emerged from a side room and set up cameras, but Santa didn't even look at them in an unprofessional way or jerk off into a potted plant.
You too, Baron and Grindax, he said in a soothing baritone. Uncle G. Come now, you're never too old to take a picture with Santa.
Even though he was super excited, Baron busted over in a much more chill/cool fashion than Dweem. After seeing that there was no room left on Santa's lap since his son had pulled out, and because he didn't know the rules about this sort of thing, Baron instead chose to bust a sweet power stance with Grindax. He even fingered a buzz-free F-bar accord in part to impress Santa, but mostly to impress the elf babe photographers. The babe snapped a picture, printed it, and then giggled and said, "Mira Santa!" to each other while looking at it, which made all three dudes nervous because they assumed the elves were talking about them. Dweem went so far as to blurt/lie, "My friend burned me with a cigarette," just in case they were laughing about the spot of ringworm on his arm. The elves brought over prints of the picture to Dweem, Baron, and Grindax, all of whom also somehow resisted the urge to jerk off into a potted plant. The babes left an additional picture with Santa, who cared so much about everyone who came to visit him that he kept their pictures in a beautiful,
leather-bound Infinity album that smelled like a Christmas stocking, even though no one could precisely describe what a Christmas stocking smelled like. The elves exited, and Santa turned to the trio and said,
"All right, boys, it's wish time."
All of them immediately popped bone/pink things, not in a sexual way, but in a happy...
All right, boys, it's wish time.
All of them immediately popped bone/pink things, not in a sexual way, but in a happy dog way.
"I wish,"
Baron began, but then he looked at his son, whose shoulders had fallen and expression morosened.
"I wish Dweem would get his Christmas wish."
Dweem looked up with his eyes full of hope and tears. "Really, Dad?"
"Really, son. Happy Christmas." "Oh, wow. I mean, wow," Santa said. "This goes beyond a ho-ho-ho here. Just assume I've said about 20 of those bad boys."
Let me do this part again. It's very important.
"I wish,"
Baron began. Then he looked at his son, whose shoulders had fallen and expression morosened.
"I wish Dweem would get his Christmas wish."
Dweem looked up with his eyes full of hope and tears. "Really, Dad?"
"Really, son. Really, son. Happy Christmas." "Oh, wow. I mean, wow," Santa said. "This goes beyond a ho-ho-ho here. Just assume I've said about 20 of those bad boys."
"I wish Dweem would get his wish," Grindex said, too late to get credit for it because the moment had passed.
"All right, son,"
Santa said as he leaned in and looked over the top. Santa said as he...
"All right, son,"
Santa said as he leaned in and looked over the top of his 24-karat gold frames.
"What's your wish?"
"I wish for my mom and dad to get back together."
"Oh, you little fucking liar," Baron snapped. "You said you just wanted us to be friends again." "Done," Santa proclaimed.
He winked, wiggled his nose, and flexed his pecs, and Christmas magic shot out into the night. "Sorry, Dad," Dweem said while cowering. Baron sighed in defeat.
"It's fine, son. Maybe I won't even care about your absolute betrayal if I still get my wish. Santa, all I want for Christmas is to get my pump back. I don't want everything to hurt anymore. I don't want to be sad all the time. I don't want to just pay bills and go to sleep and then be told to shut up because that's life when I tell someone I don't want to just pay bills and go to sleep. I want to feel energetic again and hopeful and like I can do more push-ups next month than this month. I want to feel energetic again and hopeful and like I can do more push-ups next month than this month instead of knowing that if I try to do more, I'll end up tearing something in my shoulder. And then the doctor will be like, "Yeah, you're not young anymore, so don't even try. But also try because otherwise you'll die." I don't want everything to be about death. I just want things to go back to the way they used to be. "That's a lot of eyes, isn't it?" Santa said while narrowing his gaze. "Are you sure you don't want to wish for something a bit more altruistic?" Nope. Pump is very important to me. To you? Yep. Do you hear yourself? Pump is important to me. Yep. Not deaf, just depressed. Well, I think you've hit it on the head. You're just depressed. You're not old, nor even close to being almost dead, which I know you say regularly. Honestly, this is probably something more for a psychologist to deal with, or perhaps in your case a psychiatrist, than a Santa Claus. Well, you can make the same argument for Dweem's dumb little wish. Plus, his mom and I tried marriage counseling, and she ended up giving the counselor an HJ while I was in the bathroom. To piss, not even dump. But here you are just bursting at the seams with CM for this kid. This is a Christmas conundrum, Santa puzzled. I do allow more leeway for the little ones, but let me check your chart and see if I can make an exception here. Good, Baron replied shortly. Dad, what's an HJ? Dweem asked worriedly. Let's see, Santa said. You've killed a few monsters who deserved it, and a few who didn't. More who did than didn't, which is the important thing. But then you entered that cooking competition and used cat food just to watch people eat cat food. But that was just a goof, Baron clarified. True, true, Santa replied while pulling at his beard in thought. True, Santa replied while pulling at his beard in thought. You did feed a lot of cat food to stray kittens, too, so perhaps that negates the competition thing. All right, I find that overall, your good guy to bad guy ratio is greater than 1, so I will grant your wish. Fart, yeah, Baron said. Don't push it, Santa warned. What, fart? That's a curse word? To a true Santa, yes. We're like Mormons.
See?
Oh, wait.
See?
Dweem bragged to no one. Santa closed his eyes, but then he stopped and opened them slowly/weirdly, so it didn't count as a wink. Whew. I just had a realization, he said. Oh, come the F on, Baron shouted. Oh, wait, there's a ellipses there. Oh, come the F on, Baron shouted. The only way this Christmas magic is going to work is if I reverse your personal clock to when you were at your most pumped. Perfect. What's the problem? Your point of peak pump occurred while you were in Monsteropolis, but before you met Layla. Even more perfect. But if you haven't met Layla, then you haven't had your son. He will cease to exist. Baron looked at Dweem and then back to Santa. Like he wouldn't have been born? Well, more like he would have been murdered, because he exists now, and you would always remember that. So, do you have another wish? Just do it. I'm sorry? I can't think of anything else. Sorry, Dweem, but as the bully and Encino man said, some of us pump and some of us slump. Honestly, you're kind of a slump prophet. Plus, you tricked me with your wish, so now we're even.
Dad?
Dweem yelled in bewilderment.
He's a slump sloffet,
Grindex offered. Ha! I love it, Baron laughed. Hey, Grindex will still be here, right? Can I get that in writing? Yes and no, Santa responded sadly. Baron, know that if you do this, you will be on the naughty list for a very, very long time. No prob. As long as I'm pumped, I don't give a what. Remember that? There was some rap song that was like, I don't give an F, but on the radio mix it was edited to I don't give a what. Actually, it might have been the one that was like, can I get a what, you? Jay-Z, right? I don't know. Try not to curse here. Let's do it. Hit me with your Christmas magic.
Why don't you hit me with your Chinese moo-moo?
Grindex sang. Oh, nice, Baron nodded. Hit me with your Chinese moo-moo. He pointed to Grindex.
And fire away. Dad, I fucking hate you!
Dweem shrieked as he windmilled toward Baron. But then Santa winked, wiggled his nose, and flexed his pecs, and Dweem vanished into morbidly obese air. Oof. These are long chapters, boys. With what looks to be clipping. Well, maybe not.
Why don't you hit me with your Chinese moo-moo?
Yeah, that sounds really good. Really, really good job. Oh, it's so hot for a Christmas story. Bum 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 bum. Oh oh oh, familiar laugh we know.
Bum.
Perfect. Chapter 25. Oh my fuck! Baron shouted while Jetboot blasting out of the ice tower and Jetboot neutering every reindeer security guard in his path. Dude, I'm so fucking pumped! You think I don't know? Grindex screamed as the duo barrel rolled through the black night sky. I tried to take a biometric pump reading off you the second those bags under your eyes disappeared and your cargo shorts turned back into jeans. But something inside me popped and I got an error message. Shit. Man, why didn't you wish to be young and pumped again too? Baron asked as he looked down into his best friend's milky eyes. Spider monsters don't care about that shit. We're just happy to be along for the ride. And guitars actually get sweeter with age. I didn't want to say anything, but when you were trying to play me earlier, your sausagey dad hands were the reason why nothing worked. Every note was touching like 3 strings. Try to play something now. Baron stretched his slim alien fingers and wailed an instrumental speed metal cover of Oak Ridge Boys' Thank God for Kids. Gotta get the article in there. Baron stretched his slim alien fingers and wailed an instrumental speed metal cover of the Oak Ridge Boys' Thank God for Kids. 8 different shades of red and green lasers beamed from Grindex's eyes, instantly clearing them of their cataracts. The lasers blazed all the way to the northernmost tip of the North Pole, where Santa was pulling into his driveway after a long and existential day working in the ice tower. Every beam exploded in a reverse color, so red became green and green became red, fireworks show that spelled out, "Thank you for my gifts." Santa smiled, busted out his phone to move Baron back to the nice list, and went inside to stack it and jack it. As the sounds of money being counted and Mrs. Claus moaning in delight echoed loudly across the tundra, it was easy to miss the faint pop as an additional, chubby and imperfect firework quietly burst. As an additional, chubby and imperfect firework quietly burst, and a school photo of Dweem with gelled down gerbil hair faded into the starry backdrop. "Ooh-wee!" Baron exclaimed back in Christmas Kingdom as he saw his new/old-found powers in his best friend's crystal clear, blacklit spider eyes. "Now I'm super glad you didn't wish to be young again. It would have been a total waste. By the way, what did you wish for?" Typo there, missing quotation marks. "Oh, nothing." Grindex lied as "Oh, nothing," Grindex lied as the two flew past a wooden sign that read, "Thank you for coming to Christmas Kingdom," in all C's, not K's. "Man, I can't believe Santa fell for that bullshit thank you note." Yeah, how will I have breaks here? I don't know. "Thank you for coming to Christmas Kingdom." "Man, I can't believe Santa fell for that bullshit thank you note," Baron cracked up while playing with his brand new tuxedo kitten. Got us back on the nice list, didn't it? Grindex replied while playing with his brand new tuxedo kitten. Sure enough, what a dumbass. It was Christmas morning and Baron and Grindex had made it home just in time to be greeted by a fully decorated tree, a fully wrapped mountain of presents, and a fully nude / ready to rock Layla. Sure enough, what a dumbass. She explained that it was, well, unexplainable. On Christmas Eve, she became so overwhelmed by the desire to get back together with Baron that she packed her bags, told Randy to fart off, and traveled all night to Earth.
It must be Christmas magic,
Layla whispered. As her naked body embraced Baron under the mistletoe, he gently placed a finger over her lips and whispered back, No, it's Chinese moo-moo, without any explanation as to what the fuck that even meant. Then she noticed that Grindex had pink thing. Then they told her that that Dweem got killed. And then she remembered why she left Baron in the first place. So she repacked her bags, told them to fart off, and traveled all night back to Monsteropolis. All right, this is a mess. Let me try one more time. Got us back on the nice list, didn't it? Grindex replied while playing with his brand new tuxedo kitten. Sure enough, what a dumbass. It was Christmas morning, and Baron and Grindex had made it home just in time to be greeted by a fully decorated tree, a fully wrapped mountain of presents, and a fully nude / ready to rock Layla. She explained that it was, well, unexplainable. On Christmas Eve, she became so overwhelmed by the desire to get back together with Baron that she packed her bags, told Randy to fart off, and traveled all night to Earth.
It must be Christmas magic,
Layla whispered. As her naked body embraced Baron under the mistletoe, he gently placed a finger over her lips and whispered back, No, it's Chinese moo-moo, without any explanation as to what the fuck that even meant. Then she noticed that Grindex had pink thing. Then they told her that Dweem got killed, and then she remembered why she left Baron in the first place. So she repacked her bags, told them to fart off, and traveled all night back to Monsteropolis. If there's one thing I learned by doing all the edits, it's that the first take is always best, which is why I just wasted like fucking 5 minutes here. And I just named this the wrong file name. Cool. Real cool. Oh, man. All right. Chapter 26. Ooh, no, not even. Right. Chapter 12/26, aka the first day of the Halloween season. Oh yeah, boys. After Layla used her necromancer powers to resurrect her relationship with Randy because he paid the bills, she resurrected her son. In her basement, Dweem dwelled, curling 40s like it was no big deal. As he lifted, he stared at his reflection in the mirror and smiled confidently. His vascularity was coming in nicely, as was his obese chef monster mustache. He let the dumbbells clatter to the ground and began to head to the kitchen for a serving of 18 Hot Pockets. But then he saw the picture that was taped to his bedroom door, the picture with 2 red X's scrawled on it. Dweem turned around and pissed/primedly picked up the weights. Let's see, this has got to be perfection because it's the last chapter. The picture with 2 red X's scrawled on it. Dweem turned around and pissed/primedly picked up the weights. Piss/primedly picked up the weights. Add it on there, boys. Dweem turned around and piss/primedly picked up the weights. Scratch the OCD itch. Get that one extra take in. 12, 26. Cannot use dashes. Height. All right. Tips and tricks. If you encounter the real Santa, make sure you hold A to sneak. Otherwise, he'll jetpack off with all of your presents. If you encounter a non-real Santa, hold your mom/dad/spouse/dog fucking close. Chances are, there's a maniac or at least a very sad person beneath that beard. Call your grandma. She misses you. Done. Perfection. And now, last. This is like a repump to get you back in the mindset of the first book. Because the third book will be more like the first book. The third book will really be, it was going to be the fourth book, but now it's going to be the third book because the third book won't be out. Because the kibosh was put on it by my editor / publisher / wife, who had concerns about the content, which I won't even talk about on here, but yeah. Book 4, in space. Book 3, in space. Probably the fucking last one. Thank you. Thank you. Now for the cool exit. Check this out. Cool. Thank you for watching whenever you watched. Hey, why is this not working? I guess it doesn't matter. No. There we go. Hey. All right. Well, thank you for watching. Oh, don't do that. This is just the okay only. If I did that, it's because it's okay only, not anything weird. Now I'm in trouble with my wife. Thank you.